Hi guys, today I'm doing this look that's inspired by my background on my model Ingrid, and I'm going to start by filling in her eyebrows. And she already has thick eyebrows, so all I did was take a dark brown pencil and fill in all the spaces that I felt needed to be fuller, and I went and I made her arch a little bit higher. So after doing that, I'm going to just take a spoolie brush and I'm just going to brush that in so it could have a seamless hair-like motion. So now, taking an angled brush and using my MAC concealer palette, I'm going to be using the NC45 to clean the bottom of her brows and the NW50 for the top of her brows. And I'm just going to follow the shape of the eyebrow and also drag it into her eyes so that I could also use that as her eye primer. So this is the NC50 on top of her brows, and I'm just going to clean that up real fast, and it shouldn't be that hard. All you have to do is just follow the shape of your eyebrow and try not to take off too much of your eyebrows. So just as I said before, I'm using the concealer as her eyeshadow prime, so I'm going to blend that all over her eyes. Now to set her eyes, I'm going to be using the Sasha Buttercup, and I always do that because anytime I use a cream product, I want to set it with a setting powder so it doesn't crease up. So as a transition color, I will be using this orange from my BH Cosmetic palette. So the next color that I'm going to be using on top of my transition color is going to be this pink from my other BH Cosmetic palette, and it's a matte color, and I'll be applying that in her inner corner of the crease, and I'll be dragging that inwards but not all the way in. I'll just be putting it right on top of the orange and dragging it inwards to give it a more vibrant color. So this look is really all about the shading of color. So the next color I'm using is this nice purple, and I'll be applying that right on top of the pink. You always want to go from light to dark, so I'll be using that purple also only in the crease, and I'll just be doing a C motion with it and just blending that in a circular motion. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that my signature move is to always cut my crease, and I use the angled brush and I use my lightest concealer shade and I cut the crease. It looks more like a teardrop, and then after I make it more precise, I use my Sasha Buttercup to set it, because you want to set your cut crease, because I do use a concealer, so I'm going to go ahead and set the concealer so it doesn't budge, and I'm going to pat that Sasha Buttercup all over it. Now to make my colors more vibrant, I'm going to be using this light pink. It's almost going to this white, but it's a light pink eyeshadow, also my BH Cosmetic palette, and I'm going to be tapping that all over the crease, well, the cut crease where I drew the cut crease, and I'm just going to pat that on, and that's going to help the colors that I'm going to put on top of it stand out more. So now I'm going in with this purple on top of that shadow, and that's where I'm going to start doing this fading in effect. So I'm going to start with the purple, and I'm going to slightly brush it towards her inner tear duct, and then I'm going to be adding a pink in the middle. And basically I'm going from color to color. So I start from dark, which is the purple, then I'm putting the pink, And basically that's really all the eye look is about. You're just gonna make sure you shade it in really nicely. So now I'm using my liquid liner and I'm gonna do a wing for her. And to get your wing, you want to draw the bottom liner first and drag it and make it as thick as you want. I don't like my liners too thick, so I'm making it medium size, or maybe it's bigger on the outside, and then I'm slowly making it tiny as I'm pulling it inwards, if that makes sense. Just watch and see how I do it. Open it. Now it's time to conceal. To start off, I'm going in my MAC concealer palette, and I'm going to start out with this brown that's exactly the same shade as her to block out any eyeshadow fallout or any dark spots. And I'm going to go ahead and use foundation now, and I'm using the MAC in the color N9, and it's the Matchmaster, I think. And I'm going to be using... And I don't use a beauty blender. I always stick to my brush because I feel like my brush gets the application more smooth and thoroughly, because I feel like a beauty blender leaves some streaks sometimes, or it just takes too long. So now that I have a foundation on, I will be using the not the NC45. Literally, it's the same color, I feel like, but this is Fawn by LA Girl Cosmetics, and I'll be putting that under her eyes, and I'm gonna be mixing the NC45 from my concealer palette from MAC with that, because the concealer palette is more of a creamy texture, and then the LA concealer is more of a liquid texture. So I mix both of those, and I'm gonna be using my blending brush and blend that all out, making sure that it's smoothly blended, that you don't see any transition spot. You don't see any transition spot, so basically it blends in with the foundation. See how blended the concealer is. I'm going to be contouring. I'm using my darkest shade in my MAC concealer palette, and I'm going to be using it's basically a big contour buffing brush. So now I'm just going to be setting where I concealed earlier with my Sasha buttercup powder, and I'm just going to be tapping that. I'm using a flat brush so I could get that evenly. It does get a little messy, but you could always dust it away because it is translucent. And I'm going to be going down her nose because I will be contouring her later on, and I'll just tap that everywhere I concealed basically. So now it's time to contour with powder, and I'll be using this contour palette I have, and I'm going to be going with my darkest brown first, then I'll be going with a lighter brown on top of that. I usually use 3 layers of contouring, so I'm just going to blend that and buff that where I used the cream contour earlier. And now to contour her nose, I'm using this nice it's like a small contour brush, and I'm basically blending that with her eyeshadow so it could have a flawless blend, and we just go up the eyebrows and blend that in. And now to contour her cheeks one last time, I'll be using the Covergirl bronzing powder, and it's called Ebony Bronze, and I love this bronzing powder because it's so pigmented. So basically everywhere I contoured earlier, that's what I'm going to be doing again, and it's going to give her this nice bronzy hue. I was still baking because I'm going to be going under her eyes with the pink eyeshadow, just in case we have any fallout. I'm still leaving the bake on, so if I dust it off, it just comes right off. So now I'll be putting the lash, and I'll be using the La Charme lashes and number 62. And I love those lashes because they give you this nice mink lash look, and when she opens her eye, it's just everything. It's so beautiful. So now it's time to take off the baking. I will be using a fluffy blending brush and just fluff that away. You just want to buff that into the skin so we don't have any flashback when we take pictures, and just blend it out and make sure you brush it away. It takes a while, but the process is worth it. blush palette. It's very famous. I'm pretty sure everybody has it. So for her lips, I will be lip lining her lips first with a dark brown, but it's basically a matte lipstick, but I use it as my lip liner. So I put Yash in the middle of her lips, and to go on top of that, I'm using my Victoria's Secret lip gloss and the candy, I think it's called candy something, but it's a lip gloss and it's really nice. And now it's time to highlight, which is my favorite part. I'll be using my fan brush, and I'll be starting with the forehead with a slight highlight, then going on the nose, and next, I'll be doing her cheekbones. I'll be turning her around for you guys and giving you that special glow. So she's going to turn to this side, and you will see the glow. Ooh, look at that. Just beautiful. And I love a good glow. Like, that's been my signature forever, and now that people are into it, it's making me more in love with it, because y'all should have been into the glow. So I'm just going to be blending that, and basically the look is practically over. Any products that I couldn't remember, I will be sitting in the link below or in the description box, so just make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this look, and it's time to let her slay and rock this look. Bye guys, make sure you subscribe.